somebody may get a doubt that you are only teaching the women and what qualities they should have. What about a man? Actually, if you see in the purport, Prabhupada is describing qualifications for an ideal husband and an ideal wife. Qualification of an ideal husband is that he should be a great, spiritually advanced personality. Tejyamsam. He should be powerful by his spiritual practices. Then only the wife will be progressing nicely in her spiritual life. And if such a great husband is there, the wife has to exhibit these qualities. Here it is mentioned, Visrujya Kamam Dambam Cha. Visrujya. The wife should give up Kamam, lust. This looks counterintuitive for the modern mind. In the modern society, the relation between a husband and wife is completely centered around Kamam. And if there is a slight disturbance in this Kamam, then the misunderstandings will grow and there will be disruption of the family life. But here it is mentioned that Devahuti gave up Kamam, lusty propensities. And not only that, Dambam, pride, vanity. Sometimes the wife may be coming from a high parentage, like Devahuti. She is the daughter of an emperor, Swayambhu Manu. And so her parental credentials are quite superior to, Kardam Muni. Kardam Muni is a brahmachari having a small hut on the banks of one river. And then, wife is coming from such a big family. But she gave up that vanity. So this is one important consideration. The wife has to give up any vanity based on her parental credentials. If you see Krishna, he married 16,108 wives, and all of them are coming from great parental families. Rukmini, Satyabhama, Satya, like that there are so many. And they all considered themselves as maid servants of Krishna. This is the ideal position. Although they have such great credentials, they placed themselves as a menial maid servants in the family. And so here Devahuti gave up the dhambam, the pride, then dvesham, then she gave up the envy. So these are all very pure devotional considerations. Not easy to give up all these enemies of the heart. Kama, dvesha, and then pride. These are the enemies which spoil all relationships. Whether it is between husband and wife, or in a community, or with anybody, relations are spoiled by these enemies. We think the other person is an enemy, other woman is an enemy, and this is enemy, that is enemy. But actually, enemy is inside. Our mind is haunted by so many of these pressures. So, ideal life means this. And these kind of qualities are possible not by intellectual calculations, just by understanding intellectually. It requires great training. One has to go through the grinding of day-to-day life and then still exhibit these wonderful qualities. That is the challenge. Sitting in a Bhagavatam class, we all can understand nicely. These are all great qualities, but the whole thing boils down to day-to-day interactions. The class will get over in 30 minutes, and then you have another 23 and a half hours, and you have so many things to do. So in those days, in that time, how will you behave yourself, practice yourself? So this requires great spiritual strength. These things doesn't come automatically. Only by sincere practice of Krishna consciousness, surrendering to Krishna, Guru and Krishna, one develops these qualities. So dvesham, lobham, she gave up greed. Greed means generally in the family lives, there will be great comparison with other families. And they compare with how they have celebrated their children marriages, what kind of household paraphernalia they have, what kind of education their children or their whatever they are going through, they are having, what about our children, what about our family. These are the continuous comparisons. And then by comparing, they either become envious or they become proud. Also, they become dissatisfied. And when there is a dissatisfaction, they try to satisfy by acquiring all this, more cars, more facilities, more. The other day I was, there is a question answer session in a channel, and so somebody called up. He's from Hyderabad only, and looks like a techie. He's saying, I have so many loans, and as soon as I get my money in the first week of the month, in 2 days it is all evaporated. Now how will I manage my rest of my month? There are so many demands, so many requirements. People are struggling with ever-expanding facilities, technologies, gadgets, tools, ever-expanding desires. They have no clue how to manage their household life or any other life. As soon as there is lobha, greed to acquire all these things, there is no question of satisfaction of life. People are simply dissatisfied. It is not that they are struggling for food or some kind of a accommodation, but actually they are dissatisfied by comparing with others and are constantly under pain that they don't have some of those facilities. This is the problem. So dvesham, lobham, agham, she gave up all the sinful activities. Who can be freed from sin? Only when somebody completely surrenders to Krishna. Yesham antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam. Only if somebody gives up the sinful activities, only he will be freed from dualities. What are the dualities? Fame, infamy, victory, loss. I am honored, I am not honored. My ideas are taken, my ideas are not taken. This thing, like that. They continuously think in terms of the duality. Mine and yours. And So it is not easy to come out of this dualistic thinking. Bhadra, Bhadra, we all used to think about in terms of this is good and that is bad. But actually Chaitanya Charitamrita says, in this material world, this thinking of Bhadra and Abhadra is simply illusion. There is nothing called good and bad. Everything is bad. And Krishna is saying Dukhalayam, and then you say, no, this is Sukha and that is Dukkha, then what is your understanding? It is simply illusion. So Bhadra Abhadra calculations will not allow us to progress in our absolute understanding. So Agham, Madham, that is vanity we have discussed. So Prabhupada is explaining the greatest sinful activity is adultery in the family. The husband also should be greatly devoted to Krishna, and wife also should be devoted to the Lord and devoted to the family, and there should not be any question of adultery in the family life. Chastity is being taught to the girl from the childhood, and great devotion is taught to the boy from the childhood. From the age of 5 years, the boy has to go to Gurukul and learn the practice of Krishna consciousness under the direction of the spiritual master. He serves the spiritual master very menially, in the sense he is ready to do even the smallest of things, and he obeys the Guru under all circumstances, and lives in a very simple environment or atmosphere. Children get spoiled if you give too many facilities and luxuries in the beginning to begin with. AC car and AC house, AC, and then he will get all kinds of diseases, and then the other day power has gone. Summertime we see, little power has gone, and then immediately everybody is criticizing government, chief minister, some people are criticizing prime minister. They are not able to focus on the work that is there in front of them. They are criticizing everybody up to prime minister. This is the scenario. We cannot take even the smallest inconvenience in our lives. We become apparently so sensitive, but sensitive to one's sense enjoyment. That is not spiritual life. Spiritual life means sensitive to Krishna's enjoyment. Now this is spiritual life. Krishna's service should go on. Let us say you are chanting, AC has gone, power has gone. Now the question is, will you stop chanting and start criticizing the whole world for the lack of power? Or what will you do? As devotees, we should give great value for this tapas. Austerity, they are very glad to accept the austerity. More austerity, I am very glad. Let us say this city goes, Krishna forbid, in a bombing. Then what will the devotees do? Devotees are very happy. They will go to any place, any farm, where Radha Govinji is there, and our deity worship will go on. Little bit we grow here and there, and then Goshala is there. Take care of the cows, carry the cow dung, wash the cows, and do all those farming. Devotee should be satisfied. No, previously I am traveling in cars, going in flights, and doing all big things. Now what is this? No, after doing all this, I have to do this particular. No, Krishna's pleasure, that's all. If Krishna wants to go to a farm and live there, that's all our servants will go. We are happy. Wherever Krishna is happy, we are also happy. So this austerity is missing. And then if people are so sensitive about their own selfish enjoyment, my own requirement, my own view, my own this thing, my own that thing, then becomes very difficult. One should be happy to be part of Krishna's enjoyment. Krishna has accepted this food, given me as prasadam. That's it, prasadam is good for me, that's all. But because we are a little conditioned, we are still in the beginning stages. Some of the prasadam items are not suitable to your health. Okay, we can keep it aside, but never criticize. Krishna has accepted this prasadam. He has taken. Naivedya is been given by Prabhupada to him. Krishna has accepted. Who am I to comment on this? If something is not suitable for me, that's okay. That is my austerity. No, all items are not good for me today. So fasting till noon. Good, one more day fasting. But don't criticize. This is the devotee lives in a completely different mood. His world is different. Ordinary people cannot understand. His world is world of Krishna, world of the deities. This is devotee's life. He is satisfied if Krishna is satisfied, although personally he may be going through a lot of turmoil. Now this is the mood of a Vaishnava. Not so much worried about his personal convenience. So not only she gave up all these enemies, interestingly she is apramotyodhyata nityam, always working very sanely, apramatta, pramatta, apramatta, sanely and udyata, laboring diligently, very intelligently, very carefully, and nityam, always she is working. No complaints. If anything is there, she is blaming on these enemies and trying to give all these enemies up, and then she is always continuously working diligently. This is an important. So it applies to us also. Krishna is the supreme husband, and we all have to serve him, and then we should serve him sanely and diligently and be satisfied with whatever is been given to us. Whichever service is given to us, whichever boss is given to us, whichever we should be satisfied. But then how do I go on? This immediate boss is not very good, or this facility is not very good. This is not. So these are all part tapo divyam. This is meant for our purification. Krishna also knows that your immediate boss is not good. He also has some problems, but that's okay. But it is good for you if you continuously serve and learn to serve under him. Apramotyodhyata nityam. This is a wife also. So how do I deal with in these relations? The first thing is you should understand the temperament of your immediate boss. What is his temperament, attitude, his liking, his disliking. One has to. Similarly, wife should carefully understand the temperament of her husband. Without understanding, impossible to have a continued relationship. A wife, by understanding the husband carefully and by following his requirements, fulfilling his requirements, his instructions, she pleases the husband. Actually, this is the secret weapon of a woman is that she conquers the husband by following the orders. Of course, the many injunctions are there. Those orders cannot be a sinful order. It is all within the framework of Krishna consciousness. So, this is if in our relationship, if we can understand the other person and accordingly mold our presentation, our talks, our requests, or our whatever, that is the victory for the devotee. In our community life, because in the community you will see each devotee, he comes with a different temperament. Some of them, for example, they would have never submitted before anybody, before joining or before coming in touch with Krishna. They never ever submit to anybody. That's okay. Everybody has their own temperament. And maybe some people are very, naturally they may be little submissive and this and that, accommodative and all those. Somebody may be in between. Somebody has so like that variety of temperaments we see. Our mood should be how I can understand and then cooperate. Cooperate to ensure Krishna's pleasure. This is the goal. We all have a sublime goal. The Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, He should be pleased by our services. But the services cannot go on nicely unless we cooperate. Community means, an institution means, like it has 4 divisions. Like in the body there are 4 divisions. An organization is also having 4 divisions. There will be a head, that means direction, deity worship, philosophical understanding, parampara, all this comes under this head. Then there is an administration, shoulders, administration, management, leadership. So that is, and then there will be activities where somebody is focusing on earning money, because that is also required for an organization. So there will be some departments focusing on that. And then there will be devotees who are supporting all of them. All these divisions of services have to cooperate. In the body, all these parts are they're connected to each other, they depend on each other, there is an interdependency. And when they cooperate, everybody cooperates with each other, then there is a perfect movement of the body. So similarly, if we all nicely cooperate with each other, then there is a perfect Hare Krishna movement. This is also movement, and that is possible. Now what is this cooperation? Cooperation means understanding the other person. If he is my senior, the immediate authority, and then if required, I should be able to come down a bit on my nature, come down a bit, in my expectations, or change myself a bit. This should be the mood, so that the work should go on. The devotional service, the transcendental service to Krishna should go on. This should be the goal of the devotees. That cooperation is required. You are also capable, you are also qualified, but nonetheless, we submit to the immediate authority and then go on. But all these interactions should be within the framework of Krishna consciousness as given by Prabhupada. It cannot be outside this framework. As long as those instructions are within the framework of Krishna consciousness, then happily we should cooperate, accommodate, adjust, and move ahead in our services. So this should be the mood of the devotees. So then only by taking that lower position as a nichavat, as a menial servant of Guru, we will be successful in our spiritual life. It is easy to think that that person should change, he should be, you should be removed as my boss, or these so many expectations may be there. The whole world thinks like that. Everybody has to change except me. I want to remain the way I am, but everybody else has to change. This is the thinking of a conditioned soul. A spiritualist means he is introspective and he is thinking, how can I change so that I can better my services. This is the mood of a devotee, a Krishna conscious person. He is looking at his own internal advancement. So increase the introspection and increase the service to Krishna. That is the success formula. Any questions? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.